The air hung heavy with the oppressive silence of a suburban night in Manassas, Virginia, on June 23, 1993. Within the confines of a seemingly ordinary home, a desperate act was about to unfold, one that would shatter the tranquility and ignite a firestorm of controversy, forever etching the name Lorena Bobbitt into the annals of true crime history. It was a moment born of alleged years of torment, a culmination of pain and perceived injustice that would lead to an unthinkable act of retaliation, leaving a sleeping man mutilated and a nation stunned. This wasn't just a crime. It was a visceral scream against a backdrop of domestic despair, a story that would force the world to confront uncomfortable truths about abuse, justice, and the breaking point of the human spirit. Before we delve deeper into this captivating and complex case, remember to comment, like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes of The Calendar of Crime. Lorena Gallo, an Ecuadorian immigrant, married John Wayne Bobbitt, a former U.S. Marine and bar bouncer, on June 18, 1989. Their marriage was tumultuous from the start, marked by frequent arguments and allegations of abuse. Lorena claimed that John subjected her to years of physical, emotional, and sexual violence, often flaunting his infidelities and controlling their finances. She described a life lived in constant fear where her earnings were stolen, and her pleas for help seemed to fall on deaf ears. On the evening of June 23, 1993, the couple had returned home after a night out. Lorena testified that John had raped her upon their return, an act she claimed was not isolated but part of a pattern of marital rape. After the alleged assault, John fell asleep. Lorena, consumed by a cocktail of rage, despair, and what her defense would later describe as an irresistible impulse, rose from the bed, driven by an overwhelming sense of violation and a desire to prevent further harm. Lorena walked to the kitchen. There, she retrieved an 8-inch Ginsu carving knife. With the weapon in hand, she returned to the bedroom where John lay sleeping. In a moment that would define her public image, she pulled back the bedsheets and, with a single, swift motion, severed his penis. In a state of shock and confusion, Lorena fled the apartment, taking the severed appendage with her. She got into her car and drove aimlessly, eventually throwing the penis out the window into a roadside field on Maplewood Drive. The gravity of her actions slowly began to sink in, and she eventually pulled over, called 911, and confessed to what she had done, also revealing where she had discarded the organ. Emergency services were dispatched, and an exhaustive search ensued. Miraculously, John's penis was located in the field. It was carefully preserved in saline ice and rushed to the hospital. A team of surgeons embarked on a grueling 9.5-hour operation to reattach it, a procedure that was ultimately successful. The incident immediately captured national and international headlines, turning the Bobbitts into household names. The subsequent legal proceedings became a media circus, with both John and Lorena facing charges. John was later acquitted of marital sexual assault, despite inconsistencies in his testimony. Lorena, on the other hand, was charged with malicious wounding. Lorena's defense argued that she was a victim of prolonged domestic abuse and marital rape, and that her actions were a result of temporary insanity caused by post-traumatic stress disorder and an irresistible impulse. After 7 hours of deliberation, the jury found Lorena not guilty by reason of insanity. This verdict meant she could not be held criminally liable for her actions, and was ordered to undergo a 45-day evaluation period at Central State Hospital in Petersburg, Virginia. In the aftermath, both John and Lorena attempted to navigate their lives under the intense glare of public scrutiny. John Wayne Bobbitt tried to capitalize on his notoriety, forming a band called The Savored Parts and appearing in adult films. He also faced further legal troubles, including battery charges and probation violations. His life continued to be marked by controversy and legal issues. Lorena, seeking to escape the sensationalism, reverted to her maiden name, Gallo, and largely attempted to live a private life. She became an advocate for domestic violence awareness, founding Lorena's Red Wagon organization, which aimed to help prevent domestic violence. She later remarried and had a daughter, striving to build a new life away from the spotlight. The Bobbitt case transcended the personal tragedy of two individuals. sparking a global conversation about domestic violence, marital rape, and the legal system's response to such complex issues. It brought much-needed attention to the plight of abuse victims and challenged societal perceptions of gender roles and justice. The case became a cultural touchstone, referenced in popular media and academic discussions, forever altering the landscape of how domestic abuse is perceived and discussed. Thanks for watching. Please comment, share, like, and subscribe for future episodes from the Calendar of Crime.